Here if you didn't calm down, they put you in this tub and put ice in here. Did you experience that?
We understand that there's some sort of presence up here. So what I want you to do tonight is to speak up. Do something, move something, shut a door. Can we move?
Go visit Mr. Stroud. EVP session.
Robert Stroud, the Birdman of Alcatraz. Well, well, well. Spent 11 years up in this hospital cell. You're a murderer and a degenerate. Loser. Criminal. I have devices here that can hear you and can see you. So if you want to be more than just a name on some bars at the end of a room in a forgotten prison, it's time you do something. Step out. Tell me if you're the one up here in the hospital.
Meanwhile, in cell block D, team member Hector leaves an audio recorder in the Birdman's first home on the Rock, cell 42.
EVP session number 5, over.
Somebody in here?
Come on, Bob. Must have been pretty lonely sitting on this cold steel toilet, looking at freedom right outside your window, and all those birds, and you couldn't touch a single one of them. Tell me if you're the one up here in the hospital. I want to see your face right now. I'm curious to listen to this audio.
Barry to lab. Go ahead.
And we're wrapping up here in the hospital. We're going to head on down.
Copy that. Come on home.
On the shore the next morning, the team gathers to review their evidence.
Barry and I checked our audio from our first visit to the Birdman cell in the hospital wing. We didn't get a whole lot, so we're hoping that maybe Hector got something in D block.
Going through some of the EVPs that I got, it looks like it's pretty active in there with EVPs. See what you think here.
Buried deep in the audio, Brad hears something surprising.
Do it again.
Can you hear a name?
It's almost like a last name, Tony Aniche or something like that. Like that's a last name.
Okay.
Aniche.
Aniche.
Yeah, Tony Aniche.
Tony Aniche. I have a list of the inmates.
That's what we need.
I got a list right here. Alcatraz prisoners. It's an Excel file. I'm just going to look at it real quick.
We find a name on a list. That's golden.
Can you hear a name?
It's almost like a last name, Tony Aniche. We got a sweet EVP. We got a name, and it sounded like Tony Aniche. I have a list of the inmates. I got a list right here. We were trying to look up the records of Alcatraz to see if we saw an Anthony, anything that looked like Aniche. First of all, what Tony is Anthony? Andrew.
Anthony. Several Anthonys.
You got Anthony Delura, Anthony Maddock, Anthony Marsala, But that's just the inmates. It could be a guard.
You know, it's going to be tough to find Tony and Nietzsche. We had a roster of inmates, but we don't have a directory of guards or victims of inmates. So we might not have an answer there.
Could be anything.
But we do know we've got a ton of EVPs. That's why I'm going to talk to an expert on EVPs to see if we can figure out what makes Alcatraz such an active place for paranormal audio. We know that Alcatraz has a lot of audio phenomena. It's really important to us to correlate EVP evidence with other data. We catch the voice, that's great, but what else is going on in the world when that happened?
One of the interesting things that we found during EVP analysis is that immediately preceding EVP capture, there's a fairly significant EMF energy spike that occurs as well. One of the theories is that the energy that's being required to be converted into sound that you can understand. Something is happening within the environment, could be responsible for some type of an energy transfer.
You know, one reason we got so many EVPs at Alcatraz is because the trauma that's been imprinted on this prison over the years. But another reason could have something to do with the environment around Alcatraz. So tonight, we're going to take our investigation to the next level to see if we get any evidence that could support the idea that energy transfer occurs when EVPs happen.
To begin their last night on the Rock, Brad and Barry head to the main corridor of Cell Block D, reputedly the most haunted block in the prison.
What do you say we run a linear EMF sweep?
Okay.
And we'll run it from one end, equally space them all the way down to the other to see if we get any kind of data.
Okay.
The data loggers we'll be putting down in D block record temperature, dew point, and any electromagnetic activity that we get. We can then compare our data with any EVPs we catch.
Katie and Steve Hawk make their way to the prison hospital, where there have also been reports of paranormal activity.
Oh, look at this.
Yeah.
Oh, it's creepy back there.
Team member Hector enters cell 14D, the most notoriously haunted cell of any in the prison.
I'm by myself. Lights out. Here we go.
I'm gonna run an EVP session, see if I get some results or some feedback.
I need everyone's attention in D block. Alcatraz no longer exists. You are no longer inmates in the federal prison system. Why do you still roam these halls?
Can you state your name? Why all the anger?
Can you tell us how you got in this place? What happened to you to land you in here?
Got a pretty little girl here. Surely you have something to say.
Someone up here.
What do you mean?
The noise in the dungeon. That's what it sounded like. Someone up here.
What did you hear?
The noise in the dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it sounded like. Kind of has that feeling to it.
You done?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Okay, I heard. Sounds like a cell door closing.
There's someone down here?
I got an abandoned post. I'm outside the cell right now. Only because I heard like the cell doors, like somebody was like sliding them shut.
Hey, Hector, did you slam the door?
You heard that too?
Yeah. You know what it sounded like? It sounded like a cell door, like slowly click, 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 click.
That's exactly what I heard.
Yeah, it was like,
a mistake
like
for
click,
me.
click, 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 click.
Yeah.
Barry and I heard what sounded like a cell door that kind of slowly cranked shut. These don't slide open and shut by themselves. It's a crank system.
Yeah.
It wasn't a slam. It was kind of like a tin can being dragged behind a car sound. That's the best way I can describe it. You heard something like a
Yeah, just a
cell door.
cell door, yeah. Just,
Like it shut?
Yeah.
We still got a couple hours left on the rock, but Alcatraz is starting to get to Katy a little bit. So we're going to call it a night. Head back to shore and see if we got some of that cell door slamming on audio.
It definitely sounds like a door.
Yeah, you can hear something sliding.
And it's definitely like a door closing, yeah.
We can't compare the cell door sound that we got to a baseline because the Rangers at Alcatraz wouldn't let us shut the cell doors while we're investigating. But Barry, Hector, and I all heard that sound. So what we need to do is check the data loggers to see if we got any EMF spikes at the time.
Yeah.
Now,
The data recorders, the linear sweep all the way from 14 all the way
Right.
to the end. This is where this is from. Okay, check this out.
Ooh,
Hey, that's spike.
that's a big old spike. 5.5?
all the way up to 5.5.
It was 1:51 in the morning.
1:51.
Then we get an EVP of a cell door closing. 1:51 a.m.
This is the time where it all came together. EMF spike, EVP session at the same time, correlates, bingo. Bam!
Serious?
Look at the rest of the
Yeah,
night.
no, I see it.
0, and all of a sudden, whammo!
The data loggers didn't capture any atmospheric changes at 1:51, but we did get a correlation between EVP and EMF. So as Larry Flaxman and I discussed, there may be an energy transfer of some sort when the EVP occurs.
So-
EMF and EVPs go together, right there.
That's amazing.
Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
All right, so we're done with Alcatraz, right?
Not quite.
We got a really cool EVP, Katie and I, while we were investigating up in the hospital. Why don't you listen to it?
Sounds a little bit like it. I want her.
That's exactly what I thought.
When she was down in the dungeon by herself, that's where we got all those weird EVPs.
Right.
Kind of relating to her or about you. So this thing might be following you around. All right.
That EVP definitely creeped me out. It's like something's following me around, and I don't know how I feel about that.
With the investigation of Alcatraz behind them, the Kling brothers reflect on the team's findings.
Man, Alcatraz was awesome.
Now, what I tell you about EVPs, just look at all the EVPs that we got. I can't forget what I've done. Those Katy EVPs,
Yeah.
the Tony and Nietzsche name, the cell door slamming, growls and D block. I mean, the whole place was loaded.
The entire time you're there, you just felt creeped out and uncomfortable. Any place you went in that place. And
Now,
so
icing on the cake, though, is that we got correlation between EMF spike and piece of evidence. In this case, it was an EVP. This was a great investigation.
it was a badass investigation. Definitely a success.
All right, well, let's
But
get
I'm
out
ready to
of
get back to Texas.
here. Yeah, so am I.
Let's go.